Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon, so you never miss any new updates, cause whenever we upload new video you will get a notification on your phone.
Hi, in the previous videos I showed you how I did the repair on a PV mixer model number XR1600D, and the owner of that device bring this woofer. Actually, he bring two woofers of this brand, Soundtech. And if I just zoom in a little bit, you will see that it is made in USA. So he is using these two speakers with that mixer. And when he bring it to me, he tried to fix it himself, and as you can see, and if I just zoom in a little bit, you will see that he used jumpers. So yeah, I'm not going to comment on this because yeah, it is wrong. It is a very ugly wrong, but this is how he thought he could fix the problems that he was having with this speakers. So having said that, I'm going to take the crossover circuit apart and test the subwoofer, and also replace the tweeter and see if I can make these two or this woofer working again. So let's get started. So this is the woofer itself. I remove it from the wooden cabinet, and as you can see, it is dirty as as it can be, like it was in, like it is like it was in the desert. So yeah, wow. And as you can see, there is a metal splinters all over the magnet, and all kind of iron splinters all over the magnet. So I'm going to remove these. But the interesting thing that I found, and if I just can lift it with one arm, and that is very hard because the weight in this thing, it is enormous. Yeah, as you can see, this is not the original comb for the woofer or the original coil. So someone repaired it at some time in the past. So yeah, so let me get my DMM or my FET multimeter and test this guy over here and see if it is giving the right ohmage or the right resistance or not. So here is the woofer, and I clean it up much I could, and as you can see, it is very clean. So let's test the continuity of the coil inside of this woofer. Let me bring my FET VUM and set it to ×1, turn on the meter. Let me calibrate it. There you go. Okay. Perfect. That's a good sign. This is an indication that the coil, it is connected and it is working. So let me see how much ohmage or the resistance of the coil itself. So it is roughly 6 ohms. So yeah, this will do for a rewinded coil. So I believe this speaker, it is working, and it is ready to be installed back into the wood cabinet. So I'm going to fix the crossover circuit, and we will see how it will work. So this is the crossover circuit. I installed it from the speaker cabinet, and as we can see, and if I just zoom in a little bit, wow, yeah, these two, I believe they are burden fuses. What did he do? He jumped across the burden fuse using a copper wire. So yeah, and did he jump the capacitor? Oh my god, this capacitor is blown. This also capacitor is blown. So what the hell did he do? Good god, this is wrong. So how should I repair this? I will go online and search for a schematic of this crossover circuit and see if I can get a glimpse of or a hint about the values of these two capacitors and these two burden fuses, and see how I can replace all of these components, and I will proceed from there. So I went online and I've been searching for about 2 days now, and all what I could find is the entire unit. It is available for purchasing, and there is no schematic for this circuit whatsoever. Now, because I built a lot of crossover circuit, I can, and by calculating the circuit and studying the circuit, calculate the value of the capacitors and the burden fuses, but it's better to have a working one and see what kind of values that they are. So I was thinking to myself, why don't I disassemble the other one and see how I can how I can get the value of that of these parts from the working one. So that's what I did, and this is the other one has been disassembled. And as you can see, the first capacitor, this guy over here, it was broken. The lead of it, or the pin, it was broken and has a value of 6.8 microfarad on 250 volts. The other one, the brown one, it's a 8 picofarad, or sorry, 8 microfarad on 100 volts. And yeah, and this guy over here, that it was blown into smithereens in this and this is the one that has been bypassed by using a jumper wire. The value of it's 5 micro over 250 volts. So yeah, these are Mylar capacitors. So the brown one, if you couldn't find the yellow one, the brown one should do the trick very well. As for these two burden fuses, I searched online and they were according to there are a few places that they are available in it, and they are charging $5 for one of them. So according to the specs that I found it online, they are basically a lamp, an incandescent lamp, but not any incandescent lamp. It is a 12 volt, 12.8 watts. So good luck finding this kind of lamp in the automobile industry. It is a very special lamp, and it is serve in the circuit. The entire purpose that exists in the circuit is to prevent overloading of the tweeter. So has been said that this type of incandescent lamp, it will not do, because this is a 12 volt 5 watts. As for this guy over here, it is a 12 volt 12.8 watts. So wow. And if I just zoom in a little bit, I hope you can see it with the glare of the yeah, you can see it. Look at the filament, how it is broke. Yeah. So how should I repair this circuit? First of all, I will have to order the capacitors in order so I can replace these. As for these two incandescent light, I have a bulb that I believe a 12 volt bulb that it is 24 watts or 25 watts at the maximum. I already purchased them as a part of a replacement parts that I bought it from China, and I believe it will do the trick very well. But that type of incandescent lamp or incandescent light, it need a holder in order so I can mount it or install it in it and connect the lead to the traces of the original burden fuses. So yeah, so I'm going to order the capacitors, and then I will build the base and connect the lamp itself. So I'm going to do this, and we will proceed from there. This is how I mounted and I installed the burden fuse or the burden lamp, and I made a wooden base for it and a metal holder so it can cram it to the and hold it to the wooden base, and I connected the wires and I soldered the wires directly to the bulb itself or to the burden bulb, and I'm going to install it. So here is the circuit, or the crossover circuit has been installed in its original place, and now let's assemble the tweeter and the woofer, and we will see how they are sound like. So here is the woofer has been installed back into the cabinet after fixing it, and it is ready now to be hooked to the amplifier. So let's grab an amplifier and hook it in and see how it is going to play. So here is the woofer has been connected to my bench amplifier, and now let's boost up the volume and see how this thing it is going to play. Now remember, I only play all of my woofers using a 10-watt amplifier. I don't really uh, turn up the volume at the extent. The only reason why I'm using 10 watt, it is suitable for driving most of these speakers, and the only crucial thing when you are driving a speaker is the clearance of the sound and the sound quality. So yeah, as for durability, you'll need to test the designated amplifier that it came, and it is suitable for the as for wattage for the same type of woofer and the same type of tweeter. So without further ado, let's boost up the volume and see how this thing it is going to play. Really nice and amazing clearance and sound quality from this speaker and this woofer, and this tweeter. So yeah, I believe the first woofer assembly it is running fine. Now let's move on to the next one and see how we are going to fix the crossover circuit, and let's move on to the assembling the entire thing. And we're back with the first crossover circuit that I pulled out of the sound tech, and you can easily recognize that this is the first one because of the jumper wire that the owner used it to jump across the blown capacitor. So yeah, so what I'm going to do with this, first of all I'm going to remove these blown capacitors, and also I'm going to remove this capacitor, test it. I'm not going to bother to test these capacitors because hey, they are blown. You don't need more evidence than this, so yeah. And also I'm going to install the burden bulb, the blue one, like I did with the other one, and connect it across the terminals of the original burden bulb that it came from the factory. And one thing I notice, if I just zoom in a little bit, you can see that even the holder for the burden bulb, it is broken. So this crossover circuit has a lot of abuse in it. And one thing I have to mention, and before I get into it, I will make a schematic of this entire circuit, because believe me, I went online and I searched for hours and hours for before I decided to pull out of the capacitors from the other one and see what the value it is. And I searched for a schematic for this and no one have a clue about it, or no one have a schematic of this. So I'm going to do a schematic and a full reverse engineering for the entire circuit board and publish it in this board, so I can help whoever found himself in the same hot water like I did. So yeah, let's get started. And as I promised, this is the schematic for the sound tech crossover circuit, and it is really clear how it is assembled and the circuit inside of the crossover circuit. So there is a few interesting things that they are putting inside of it, and the way they connected the parts, it is interesting. So let's begin by explaining how it works. This is the two lines of the speaker or the woofer. We go to a bulb, and these are the 12 volt burden bulbs. So yeah, I draw it like this, and this is a 12 volt 25 watts. So yeah, and goes after the bulb goes to 5 microfarad capacitor, this one over here, into a coil to the ground, and after the coil to this 8 ohm 50 watt wire winded resistance. So yeah, it is a pot. So, and the other lead of the pot, it is connected to 3 ohm 15 watt resistor, and it is connected to the ground. And the tweeter, it is fed by the control arm of the pot itself. So yeah, this is the tweeter. As for the woofer, this is the muffler coil. They call it the muffler coil. And after the muffler coil, this is goes to 2 capacitors, and they are directly connected to the ground. The first one, it is 6.8 microfarad on 250 volts. The other one, it is an 8 microfarad on 100 volts, and to the woofer itself. So yeah, it is a really interesting circuit, and it is really nice. I like it. So I'm going to install and replace the broken parts in the crossover circuit, and install them, and we will see how it is going to work. So this is the woofer cabinet, and I clean it up much I could before I install the tweeter and the woofer in, and remount the crossover circuit. And I think it is now clean enough, and yeah, it is clean enough. And this is the fiber mesh that they use it to lower or to absorb the extra vibration from the working of the woofer, and it just deteriorated and fell off. So a little bit of adhesive and should back as it came from the factory. And I want to show you something weird. I didn't test the tweeter in this woofer, and remember that this woofer had the beaten up crossover circuit. So yeah, this is the tweeter that it was installed in this unit, and whoever tried to repair it, yeah, did a kind of interesting job. So what the hell did he did? So this is the original comb, screwed in comb, that it will be installed in the comb itself, and this is the comb. So the comb or the plastic comb has a little this nut over here. So this side it is screwed into this, and yeah, apparently the original tweeter it got burned or it is stopped working, so he replaced it with this tweeter. Now what I think happened that he couldn't find a replacement, and this is a common problem in all of PV units, that you cannot find a replacement of the original So this is the wood cabinet of the woofer, and I cleaned it up much I could before I installed the tweeter and the woofer and also the crossover circuit. So yeah, I think it is cleaned up very well. And this is the fiber mesh that they usually hold it with adhesive to the body of the woofer itself, so it can absorb the extra vibration when the woofer it is working at the higher beats. So yeah, a little bit of adhesive or a coat of adhesive and it will be back as new. Now I found something interesting while I was testing the tweeter, and remember that this woofer had the beaten up crossover circuit. So normally before I put it and connect it to the tweeter, I have to test it. And I found something interesting that I want you to see. Yeah, so this is the tweeter itself, and this is the tweeter that it was installed in this woofer. So yeah. This is beyond, this is not the way to fix a tweeter or to replace a tweeter, a broken tweeter. So what I believe happened to this, that the original tweeter, the coil inside of it got burned or got or it got broke. So he decided to replace it, and he couldn't find a replacement. So what he did, he removed the screws that it mount the body of the original tweeter, and he get this low-end Chinese tweeter. It is a coil type, but yeah, 200 watt. Imagine that, a low-end Chinese tweeter, and it is 200 watts. So yeah, needless to say, this is a dumb idea, and this is not the right way to replace a tweeter, and especially with this type of woofer and in this type of crossover circuit. So I'm going to search my inventory and see if I have a replacement of this, and if I didn't, I will have to order a new one. So let me see if I have a new one in my inventory first. And taking a look at my inventory, I could not find the same size of tweeter, but I found this, and this is a high-class Chinese exact replacement of that tweeter, except it is a lot bigger in size. So this should work and should do the job very well. The only problem that this should go into the hole inside of the cabinet, so I need to extend that hole in order so this can fit real easy. So I'm going to do this and I will proceed from there. So here is the crossover circuit has been installed, and I ended up replacing all of the 3 capacitors because, as you saw earlier, the 2 of them were gone, definitely gone, but this one seems okay, but in reality it doesn't give the right value. The original value of that capacitor is 6.8 microfarad over 250 volts, and it is giving 2.3 microfarad, so that one was gone. And I expanded the hole that the tweeter body is going to fit in it. So yeah, it is now ready, and I already measured it, so it is now ready to put the tweeter in it. So I'm going to install it and I will show you how it fit really nice. So here is the tweeter has been installed, and as you can see it fit right in its place really good. So yeah, all what I have to do now is connect the woofer and secure it with its mounting screws, and it is ready to be tested. So here is the woofer has been installed, and I screwed in the mounting screws, and it is ready to be tested. So let me turn on my bench power supply and see how this speaker or this woofer it is going to play. So let me turn up the volume.
She's crazy for her daddy. Oh, she believes in him. She loves her daddy.
Wow, this thing it is playing really well, and it is even sounded a lot more better than I thought. And especially the tweeter. The tweeter it is wow. So yeah, I believe this is also a successful repair, and I really feel it is going to play nicely with the mixer. So let me bring on the mixer and try the 2 speakers and see how they are going to sound like when they are connected to the speaker, to the mixer, sorry. So here is the 2 woofers and fully assembled, and I stacked them in top of each other. So here is the first one and this is the other one. So let's boost up the volume and see how these 2 woofers are going to sound like. So bear with me a little bit till I got to the controls. Yep.
Stand beside you through the years. You'll only cry those happy tears. And though I made mistakes, I'll never break your heart. And I swear by the moon and the stars and the skies, I'll be there.
Wow, the sound quality, it is excellent and they work spotless. Yeah, so I believe they are done and they are ready to be delivered and shipped to the customer. Thank you for watching. See you next time.